Namaste, everyone.
Hello.
So we'll have some little grace moments for people to join in before we begin the session. Hope you all are doing well. And through the times that we are moving through, it is important that we hold each other. We hold each other in love, in harmony, in respect, in honor, and to support this journey. Today we are here for introducing the 9 days of power and bliss that we plan to take everyone through who joins our workshop, Invoke and Awaken the Divine Feminine. My dear friend Neetika is going to be there to take us through this beautiful combination of the goddesses, the mythology, the scientific approach, and with me combining the energy and the spiritual approach. So we are going to share with you what is it going to be there for those 9 days when you join us for the workshop, and give you some nice extra trivia about what we are planning to do through those 9 days. At the end, we shall have the collective chant for world healing. So please stay with us right till the end of the session.
And yes, while this is a precursor for the things to come in the following 9 days, it itself is a very important session where you will be guided into a lot of new things, hopefully not heard or practiced before.
So we'll have people join in. So let us, Nitika, begin with some questions that we can invite. So whoever is joining in live, we would like you to put in any kind of question that you would like to. And then we can begin the rest of the journey.
Sure. I think let's just go ahead.
Jai Baba Ruzve Saab, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for your love and blessings. And thank you so much for the special video on the goddess energy. And we'll be sharing with our lovely participants who join us for the 9 days. Thank you for your love and for being there.
It's really incredible and awesome that someone of such great magnanimous spirit, Rosbeth Verucha, an amazing author, someone whose every word I read has been part of this journey with you, Roshni. And he's so earnestly and honestly decided to, give us a little peek into what he feels the divine energy is about.
Yes, yes. Very kind of you, Rosbeth, for that. And I'm grateful to have you in my life and shall always remain so. So let us begin this journey today as to why we chose these 9 days of the Navratris for doing this workshop on awakening the divine feminine. So Nitika is also a Vedanta scholar and has learned Vedanta as well. And she will approach this from the religious and scientific and lovely mythological point of view as well. So share with us, Nitika.
So, Roshni, the first thing I'd like to say here is that Vedanta very clearly says that Hinduism is not a religion, it's a way of life. And our seers and our gurus, they were so well attuned to the scientific forms of creation that whatever they put into practice, whatever they told us, was coming from a very deep scientific basis and knowledge. So while any day is a good day to learn, to transform, these days of Navratri, there are normally 5 Navratris that come in a year. The two that are of most important significance is the summer, which is the Chaitra Navratri, and the winter, which is the Sharad Navratri, which is celebrated with the great pomp and festivity. However, both these happen, or all of these happen when there's a change of season. So the one we are talking about right now, the Chaitra Navratri, happens just when the summer is about to begin and spring is ending. So our deep rooted knowledge tells us that when there's a time of change, of seasonal change, that's when even the biorhythms in the body, the circadian rhythm in the body, it begins to change. Right?
Wow. Yes.
So it is at that point that these 9 days are used to flush out. It's the time of purging, it's the time of flushing out all the toxins and then of invoking and aligning everything, the mind, body, spirit, and the chakras into alignment so we are ready to deal with the new environmental changes that are happening. So, firstly, these 9 days of Navratri have a very strong scientific basis in them. It's the time to awaken, integrate, and harmonize. The other thing, like I told you, is it balances the chakras and nadis of the body. Now, these 9 days, they are divided into three purification cycles. So if you look at it, cycle one is represented by goddess Durga, and she manifests at the physical level of the body. So we are asked to meditate, or most importantly, fast. So at the physical level, what we are doing is we are detoxifying our body by fasting for those days. It purifies the vital energy of the body. So the first 3 days are dedicated to Goddess Durga. Then come the next 3 days, which are dedicated to Goddess Lakshmi. And these are the times when we invoke the hidden emotions within us. So it's a time of cleansing the emotional baggage that we have.
Right.
And it's connected to our subtle body. So which is why it is said that it's good to meditate during that. You see how it's all falling in. That you first, you do some kind of form of fasting where you're cleansing the body. At the same time, you're cleansing your emotions. So those 3 days of Navratri, which are dedicated to Goddess Lakshmi, are for the emotional aspect. You cleanse your emotions by meditating. And finally, the last 3 days are dedicated to Goddess Saraswati. And Goddess Saraswati rules our inner mind. She's at a more subtle level. So at this point, we do mantra chanting. And mantra chanting is when we bring down our thoughts and we begin to elevate our entire being. So again, it's working on all the three levels: mind, body, and spirit. So when we talk of Navratri, these are the things we are talking about. Now there are a few things um, we would be talking about chakras. I will hand it over to you at a later point when we talk on chakras. But what are chakras? They are the energy vortexes of our body.
Right. Right.
And that's when we put, there's 7 energy vortexes within our body and 2 outside. And each chakra aligns to one goddess, the goddess of the day. So all these 9 harmonize together, the internal chakras as well as the external, to give us complete clarity. It's only when we are well aligned can we bring about change in ourselves and then affect the environment. So that is what Navratri is about, very scientific and you can say spiritual or you can say religious bent of mind.
True.
Now, when we practice Navratri, any person, like, whether they're doing it from a religious perspective or a spiritual perspective, we've already spoken about the few things that we could do. One is fast. You could do just eating once a day, stay away from grains, whatever form. Stick to what suits you. Do not in any way state your being while fasting because if you're thinking of food and fasting, there's no point in doing
Right.
it. So only do as much as you are capable of doing. So fasting, meditating, spending some time on inner work, journaling, or spending time with yourself. It's a great time to do mantra chanting. One mantra and great time for mantra japa. Great time to offer foods to the beggars and to people, offer foods to cows. It's a great time to water plants. It's a time of growth. So, whatever you can do which is selfless, not selfish, but selfless. And then finally, there's a lot of significance given to feeding the 9 girls just during the last day of Navratri, on the Navami day, when we bring in girls who are 10 or below, looking at them as Goddess Durga, and you feed them, you anoint their forehead, you pray to them. So these are the few things that one would do on a Navratri.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that is what we need to firstly understand about all life, I feel. That nothing stands in solitude, nothing stands in its individual point just as is, and nothing just got plonked onto earth. Everything is so interwoven and everything is so well meticulously wound and hand in glove with each other, that it is the integration and the amalgamation that is the force of all unification and all force of transformation. And unless and until we integrate our fragmented life, so what is fragmented life? We are like living in these four windows: the emotional window, the physical window, the mental window. The spirit window doesn't exist for 90% or over. And the physical window is that we are seated out here. The mental window is who I have not sent the mail to, who is going to be asking me for something tomorrow, what is going to happen, has the servant come home, right? What is happening with the lockdown, what is the CM going to do tomorrow, right? The emotional window is, oh my God, why did she do that? Why did she need to say that? Why did this person had to go here right now only? I told him not to do so. Why did he have to go without the mask? So our emotional thing is going on. So we are operating in different windows in isolation. But when we bring all these windows together in the spiritual window, is when everything gets integrated. And these 9 days are of complete integration that I think step by step, it's like, moving from nursery to class 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So after the 9th class, the 10th day is, the day of victory. And I think it's not just the victory over the bad and the evil that we otherwise, propagate, but it is the victory of our inner evil, the renouncing of our lower desires. As Meher Baba says, you don't need to renounce the world for any spiritual, growth or aspect. We need to renounce our lower desires. And that is what it is, this beautiful thing that you said on the scientific way of how it is first of the, getting out everything that needs to be purged. You kind of tap into it and let it boil up to the thing. And then the next 3 days you work on it, bang on. And then the last 3 days you calm it again. So it's like your daily workout.
Absolutely.
Right? You do a warm up, then you do the main workout, and then you do the cool down. So everything in life is so integrated. If you actually see and learn that everything has a format, everything has this beautiful synergy, and everything is there for the other. I can't stop myself from giving this same example since you are a dentist by profession. That I always have this saying that when that little tooth is aching, the entire body shuts down. You feel uneasy, you feel restless, you are in pain, you don't want to do anything, you may get fever or whatever. But what does any other body part or organ got to do with that little tooth? But it is because the synergy of the entire system, so beautifully and magnificently created by our God, the higher power, the creator, whoever we want to believe, or the Big Bang Theory, but whatever it is, it created this masterpiece.
Absolutely.
And when we are working towards bringing all of this in synergy with our three worlds, the mind, body, spirit, the soul, the higher self, the consciousness, which is the Chetna, or any other words that we may use, the higher mind, it is also bringing the trinity of all life, the man, vegetation, animal, the entire, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, the air, water, earth. So everything is to unify and be there for each other, to support each other, and then go along that journey. So now we will move into this beautiful story of the divine feminine from the, should I say, mythological point of view, of how the Adi Shakti, we all use these words very, I feel, sadly enough, loosely. You keep hearing of them, and people write large posts about it. But to know the essence of something is very, very important. And I feel when you know the core of it is when you can connect with it far deeper than just on the, swimming in shallow waters of sorts. So I will again take on to a little story that we will listen from Neetika about how the Adi Shakti came into formation and how this entire aspect of the Ardhanareshwar, the masculine and the feminine merging took place with our God and goddess.
So, Rashmi, as we all know, that the divine feminine and the masculine both exist in synergy with each other. It's got nothing to do with gender.
Absolutely.
Very often, while I was sending out mails for this workshop, the men were saying, "Oh, but it's for females, right?" And I was like, "No, not at all. It's
true."
Now, since you're saying that, you definitely need to attend this all the more, because the divine energy is always both ways. And if there's an imbalance in any of it, it would lead to a man who's too feminine or a woman who's become very masculine. Either way, the man who's too masculine without any feminine energies in him would become very harsh, very dictatorial. A woman who's got too much feminine in her without the masculine energies in her would be, a ball of emotions, not able to cope with life. So that's why in each one of us, we need the right balance.
Correct.
And who better to teach us this than my favorite, Lord Shiva himself, and in his Ardhanareshwar form, where, so getting to the story, Shiva had finally gotten married to Parvati after she had done penance for thousands of years, and he had agreed to marry yet again. He had been distraught at the death of Sati, his beloved, and that's when he had got into the tangle. Having done all of that, and millions of years had passed, and then Parvati came along, and she was sure she was to make Shiva her husband. So when he finally did marry her, by then he had lived only a life of an ascetic. He had lived by himself, ash smeared in the Himalayas, and he had not shown his face to anybody. But with her coming into his life, he understood there's more than just an aesthetic life. She got him down to the place. She told him, "You have so much knowledge, you must teach to the others." And that's when Shiva became Adi Yoga. He started teaching. He became the first guru, and he started teaching the yogic knowledge to his 7 astute students. Now the students were completely devoted to him. One of them, Brigu, was so devoted, and he wouldn't start his day without doing the parikrama of Shiva. So that was his form of devotion, which was amazing. And again, devotion is a very feminine quality to have in pure artist devotion. So Brigu said that I will start my day every day, Lord, with 3 circulations around. Now Parvati had just entered the sea. She sat close to Shiva. So what would Brigu do? He would circulate around Shiva, completely ignoring the presence of Parvati. 2 days, 3 days, she allowed this. Then she began to get a bit irritated that why am I being completely ignored? Am I not his better half? Am I not divine by my own right? But Bhrigu, he didn't understand that she was getting annoyed. So what she did next day was she stuck herself to Shiva. And Shiva, now let's see what he does. And Shiva was all along smiling. So Bhrigu, he decided to reduce himself. He became a little rat. And he went around only Shiva and circulated. And Shiva was, he was totally amazed by this play of emotions between his divine feminine and his devotee. Next, what he did, Shiva, next thing, he took Parvati a little higher and placed her on his lap. And Bhrigu, in retaliation, became a little bird and he circulated around Shiva's head. This was amazing what Bhrigu was doing each time. Shiva, next day, he pushed Parvati a bit more into himself and thus merging the Ardhanareshwar, half woman, half man. And he wanted to see what little Bhrigu would do. Bhrigu, smart guy that he is, he became an animal. Shiva was standing at that point. So he just circulated around Shiva's legs, the right leg, because the left leg was Parvati, the feminine. So he just did this. That's when Shiva said, though his bhakti is good, it's not well placed. He has to understand that both aspects of me have to be worshipped
and honored.
and honored. And that's when Shiva sat in his mudra, in the complete meditative form, folding his legs, no space for anything. And Bhrigu was finally defeated. And that's how the Ardhanareshwar came into being. An amazing story where Shiva himself shows us how we are part male and part female.
True. And such a beautiful story. And I love all these stories. And there is so much of learning when we kind of get to the source of why this is so, and it is so very important to know these sources of, and anything I beautifully remember through my meditative state, when any channeling used to come, when my churning and working was happening inside of divinity, would kind of piece morsel things with beautiful analogies of learning from so many different things. And that is what created the foundation of my sharing that learning with people. That when people would know the source of things, when people would understand it in the simple analogies of life, that is when. So another, simple thing which comes to my mind with these 9 days, that we have these old lifts. Okay, and if anybody remembers, especially in Indian, the elevators, the Indian, olden ones, there was this huge black block behind the main lift, and every time that the lift went down, the block went up. When the lift went up, the block went down, and that is what our journey is. To rise higher and higher spiritually, or in the aspect of our spirit's growth, we have to go exactly in the opposite direction. And that is what life is. That the more inward we grow, the more upward we go. So the entire 9 days is to not just become somebody new on the 10th day. No, that is not the idea. The idea is to make you go through all of the processes that are put together for these beautiful 9 days, whereby we'll be touching upon the entire scientific, religious, mythological, the energetic, and the spiritual force of these 9 important days, which will be like a toolkit for you to thereafter practice in your daily life to bring about that ultimate transformation. So it is equipping you with that box of life that will have every possible tool in it for easy use, and knowing where this tool comes from and how to put it into action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Having said that, Roshni, I still believe, like you do, that any inner change is a catharsis. It's a huge process. It's a transformation that happens at a very atom level, at very atomic level. So it takes years of sadhana. It takes years of practicing something. So dear guests, don't expect to be turned into a new leaf after these 9 days that we are going to be invoking you into. But there definitely will be a definite need in you to understand the deeper things. If that is what we could even touch during these days, that you understand if there's something not right, if something needs to change within us, and you're ready to give in, it's all there in each one of us. Just some of us are more aware,
Right.
and some of us haven't worked on it due to being busy with so many other things. I think this pandemic has come at a time right now when we all need to do a lot of inner work. And with every boon there is a gain. So there is a gain with the lockdown. But let's try and use it in a better way. If we can use these days, 9 days, while we're sitting at home, to dedicate to some form of meditation, healing, mantra, and inner work. Whether it's journaling, whether it's listening to anything that makes us happy.
Right.
Spend some hours these days to just invoke what is stronger, what is greater, what is
Yes.
more beautiful in you.
Yes.
So when we talk of the divine feminine, Roshni, we know that it's all the beautiful things that make a person soft, warm, loving,
Yes.
nurturing,
Compassionate.
compassionate, caring,
Understanding,
absolutely,
patience,
intuitive,
creative.
multitasking.
Yes.
So all the great qualities, I guess every man would want these qualities in him too. So all these qualities need to be worked on. It's not something that will happen. It's not
True.
magic. We're not talking that here at all. It's all
Absolutely.
inner work. And we can show you the way to it. But it's for each one of you to help yourself and practice it on a daily basis. And like all our gurus have always said, it is continuous patience, continuous bhakti, continuous endeavor. It's only that continuous zeal that you keep doing something repetitively that will make you great. And then one fine day, when you embrace the inner goddess in you, you will wake up with love and feel so all encompassing. I mean, it's such an amazing feeling. When that day you get up and you feel there's something different about me.
Absolutely.
You get up with love and you feel that love for every creation of the great Lord.
Yes. And to take on from here, that I believe the same, and in my book Angels Speak, I've written that as well, because that is one of the first things that came to me while my own purging and garbage removal activity was going on, that there is no instant coffee and instant noodles in divinity. Everything is a matter of persistence, consistent, persevered, and patient work, continuously done on your inner and outer self. And not just inner self, trust me, because the inner self work has to translate into the outer discipline as well.
Absolutely.
For example, fasting is an external factor. Yeah. You are physically, tangibly not eating, but actually what it is doing is creating a certain discipline in your inner faculties of the subtle body. Absolutely. Right? So the same way, everything that is internally done is going to affect the outer, and everything that you are outwardly doing in your life, all the monkey business that we do all the time, is affecting the inner world. So what are the signs, everybody talks about, okay, what is the divine feminine? How do I kind of know about it? And again, as we said, it is ungendered. It is ubiquitous. It has got nothing to do with any gender. And thereby to understand that all of us are split into the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which is governing. Now, within the female form of the gender, the attributes of the divine feminine are higher, and in the male gender form, biological form, the masculine divine is higher. Now, the higher does not mean that it is an imbalance. Higher means it is more emphasized in its utilization for the work that that form has to do. And the internal balance is still required by the masculine divine and the feminine divine. So, how does that happen? So, for example, take into consideration a woman who has to, at a very early age, start earning money in life and, be this go-getter and have to do this and complete this, and might be keeping on doing that while being unfinished within. So, what happens is the divine feminine drops, and the masculine attributes of earning for the family, being the, the producer, the provider, which is the male energy form of the masculine divine, takes over. Or so many times people say, oh, career women don't get men easily. Many people use that term, right? And it's not right. It is absolutely not right that it cannot happen. It does happen because the masculine divine is in imbalance with the feminine divine. And it has taken over a certain part of the emphasis during that period of time where the female has created patterns whereby her energy has created a heart wall because of whatever episodes in her life. Or, for example, people, when you said an emotional ball, right? When you shared that a woman who has an imbalance can become an emotional ball. So, what is it that could contribute to that? Being suppressed, bottling your emotions, not being able to speak out, stand up for your truth, express your true self, not being able to say for what is in your heart to your loved ones, and always be, in the fear of being shunned, of being judged, of being kind of almost ostracized for what you say or do. So these are very, very few tip of the iceberg factors which can tell you, or somebody being aggressive and oppressive to people, arrogant, rude, of being at a certain stature and utilizing this stature in a misuse format. So then again, the balance is not there of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Because just as we said, both the masculine and the divine feminine, when in balance, are the providing energy, providing everything that you need to who you need to, being compassionate, being understanding, being honorable, being respectful, being creative, being intuitive, being discerning. And all of these things start rising only when we clean the garbage of our emotions, which are bottled within each of us. People say, oh, men don't cry. This is the wrong thing because we've not taught our men and boys to express themselves. And this suppressed energy comes out in different forms. And just even with the kind of at a very extreme level, to digress, that when we talk about things of lust related, or porn or anything of this sort, but that imbalance is there because it's suppressed energy. We have not spoken about the sanctity and sacredness of the human body with our children, and therefore what they have taken in and garnered from the influx of the surrounding knowledge is what has disbalanced the energy. And that comes out in different ways, where there is atrocities, where there are things that are unearthly, and you can't even imagine how one human can do on the other. Now, saying that, let us take you through a journey of what we are going to do in these 9 days. Okay. So the first part of our everyday session is going to be where Neetika is going to talk about the goddess of the day and the attribute and the symbolism of the goddess of the day. Now, again, we are not wanting you to take it in the religious format, but to take the energetic format of the goddess form and see that form and revere it to what you need to imbibe from her, from that universal mother. And I'm a different form, she is a different form, right? But we, or your mother or my mother, all are different forms, but yet she's my mother. I revere that form, correct? So each one of us will connect to maybe one form or the other, or all nine forms to what they stand for. So she will very briefly touch upon on the symbolism and the learning of the energetic part and stuff like that. We will take on later.
Yeah, so we will be talking kathas, kathas and kisse, what we've heard from the seers about the goddesses. We will talk about energy. We will talk about the mantra dedicated to each goddess, how to invoke that. I believe that Navratri is a great time to find that one mantra for yourself. Now, coming back to mantras, I'd again like to share a little story here. There is a tribe in Africa, and this tribe is considered to be the happiest people in the world. And there's something very peculiar that they do when a woman gets pregnant. What they do is they ask the woman to find a song that she loves, a song that she would not mind listening to 100 times. The woman picks that song and they ask her to go to the forest and find a tree that she loves. So the woman picks a tree, and throughout her pregnancy, she goes there to that tree every day. She sits under it and she sings the song she loves. She does this throughout her pregnancy. When she's 3 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant, then finally, when the day for delivery happens, the daimas or the ladies who are going to help her with the birthing process, they sing that song to her when she's delivering. Finally, when the child is born, he listens to that song. On any important occasion, whether it's his naming ceremony or his birthday, that song is sung to the child. Many years later, when the child, a man or a woman, living wherever in the world, is feeling down, dejected, feeling terrible with what life is going through, she just needs to listen to that song. And right away, there's a shift of energy from sad to happy because that song invokes all the lovely memories. So, coming mantra, this is what a mantra should be. It should be a heart song. It should be something that you can invoke, that you can do repeatedly, that becomes you. It becomes a part of you. It's not just a mantra, but it's you. It's something that you're chanting all the while.
It's the song of your soul, almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mantras are something that, again, going back to where was this mantra created? We all know, or some of us may hear it for the first time with the Devi, she, when she lived in this planet, it was called as Chintamani. And she lived there in pure bliss, never having taken birth on planet Earth and not knowing what sorrow and grief is. Her Lord Shiva used to disappear every now and then into the Himalayas and saying, I'm going off to Kailash. And these are in godly years. And then she would be by herself. One second she would feel that pang of him going away, but she never felt anything more because she was complete by herself. So once she asked Shiva, why are you going off every now and then? And he said, for the dissolution, for the creation, and for the destruction of the different planets. And she said, I want to see this. I don't know what you mean. He said, there's too much sorrow and grief in there. And she said, I want to feel sorrow and grief. I don't know what it is. And Shiva looked at her compassionately and he said, oh my dear, what did you say? Now you're going to manifest this for yourself. And that's how the Sati incarnation and the incarnation of Parvati came to be. So, Tandav, when Shiva did his Tandav, playing his Damru, and the sound that was created from the thread of the Damru, hitting the Damru, those were the sounds that created the mantras. So the original creator of all the mantras is Shiva. The sages only heard them and then told it, orally first and then wrote them down and they came down. So essentially, they kind of divided these sounds into 14 different forms, different
syllables.
Yeah, 14 different syllables. And these 14 syllables can actually be categorized into 14 essential elements.
Wow.
So, or
Yeah.
tattvas.
That's right.
So, there would be the 5 core elements, which are earth, water, fire, air, ether. Then 3 modes of material nature, which is sattva, rajas, and tamas. And 4 aspects of the mind, which is the manas, the mind, the intellect, which is the buddhi, the consciousness, which is chitta, and the ahankar, which is the ego. And finally, the masculine energy, which is Shiva, and the feminine energy, which is Shakti. So these are the 14 elements. Now, see, everything adds up, like you said. Now, there are 28 spokes of the cosmic form of Nataraj when he did the tango. These 28 spokes, they represent a cycle of creation and destruction in the lunar calendar. That's why we have the 28-day lunar calendar. Right. And what's more important and significant in the human existence is these 28 days together create the most important cycle of human, the feminine existence, the menstrual cycle. Yes. So just look at it, where what is coming from.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why the entire the surge of emotions, the surge of thought processes, and so many things variate during this 28 cycle of the the menstrual day for each and every woman, and the surrounding time. So there was this beautiful thing. Mostly, we do not, we are taught not to do prayers or things like that. And one very beautiful thing came years back to me, because I was also within the same pattern always in my life, born and brought up. And it came to me that this is the time where the actual inner purging is taking place. You are throwing out your toxins, you are throwing out what is unserving. And the divine intellect of the body knows that. And it is the time when our energy is at the lowest ebb. It is the time when any negativity can hit us much faster than any other time. And that is the time when we need God the most. And if that is the time where you need me the most, how can you not pray to me? How can you not talk to me? How can you keep me away? And it was, I am getting goosebumps, because it just took off like a humongous mountainous boulder out of my chest to just know whew, like what was that?
Again, Roshni, that's the thing that when we are fluctuating at our lowest energy, you do not want to go out. You do not want to go to a temple and worship at that time, because everybody comes with their negative. कौन आता है वहाँ पर कहने शुक्रिया? Very rare. People come with all their disturbed minds, with all their negativity. Correct. And because you're ebbing, you're really ebbing low, you do not want to attract that. Which is why it was said, stay home. Do your mantra. Do not go out to the mantra, because that's the place you will get in all these energies. So, well, there's a lot we can go on, but moving ahead, I would say that during the Navratras, pick that one mantra. We will be going through, Roshni is going to get us through the different mantras for the 9 days, and she's going to take us through chakra healing. But mantra healing or mantra sadhana is the utterance of the sound with such integrity, with such intensity and determination that your whole being begins to reverberate with it. Absolutely. You become that sound, it becomes your mantra, and it becomes that connect to your inner consciousness. Yes. And that is what each one of us should try to imbibe during the 9 days. And find that one happy song of yours. Yes. There are different mantras used to accomplish different things in life, but we want, again, that mantra science cannot be substituted for right karma. It's just through the power of mantra sadhana, you can become the master of your destiny. Absolutely. But you have to keep doing your karma. Right. And the other important part of the mantra is not just about the words. It is the uchchar, the pronunciation. The syllable part of the mantra is more important. Like most of the people, we in our English, we write O as OM. But actually, OM is a 3-syllable
mantra. It's the chant is Om. It's not Om. So, these are the finer nuances and sacredness of doing something rightly. Always in life, you hear this statement, it's not what you are doing that always counts, it is how you are doing it that counts. It is not your attitude, people think, but no, it is the attitude that counts, and not just the aptitude of our IQ that we may flaunt around or throw around our weight with. So the entire aspect boils down to being a good human being. All of these sadhanas, all of, whether you go through any of the yogas, the karma yoga, the dhyan yoga, the dhyan, the bhakti yoga, whichever the way, ultimately we have to know that we have to reach that God within. The only person to meet at the end of the road is ourselves. And if we are focused with that one pointedness, then we can reach there. What we'll also be doing in these 9 days is helping you see your symptoms and nuances of things that you need to heal in your life, which are the symptoms of your feminine and masculine imbalance energy. And then we will address those by also sharing with you the key energetic attributes. So we have devised certain energetic attributes containing and pertaining to each of the goddess forms for that day. So it could be self-reliance, it could be self-control, it could be self-love, it could be patience, it could be fulfilling of wishes, whatever. So at the end of the session, each day, we'll also share with you channeled affirmations, which are done especially for this workshop. And these channeled affirmations will be gifted to you through the workshop, where you can practice them in your daily life thereafter. The mantras and everything that is shared with you with its energetic, connotation, its energetic loop that you can tie on. So nothing is there. So if tomorrow after the workshop also something springs up in life, you will exactly know what to put into place there to heal that part. So it is a journey of self-healing that you will learn through these amalgamation of the mind, body, and spirit, religious, scientific, and spiritual.
Absolutely. And Roshi, I'm so blessed to have experienced chakra healing with you. And it would be so great that you would be doing chakra healing because, like I said, the 9 devis have the 9 chakras. And on each day, there is a particular chakra that she would be tuning into and she would be helping cleanse out the chakras. So, at the end of 9 days, we would definitely feel a lot lighter than when we started on it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And each of these chakras, what we'll be doing. So the divine feminine energy, the Shakti, as we say, is latent in our Kundalini. Okay. Now there are many myths which we will be busting off in our workshop as well about all these, Kundalini rising and instant third eye opening and all of that. Please be wary of all of these things. Nothing of that sort is the right path. No shortcut was ever the right path to any success. So with that, we will be taking you where each of the chakra we will be working on to awaken and invoke that latent energy through each of the energy centers and vortexes going from the root to the crown. And as we work on that, we will also be doing the Kundalini dance moves, which are body gestures. Now, there is dance therapy, there is color therapy, we know all about it, but there is a science and spirit amalgamation out there, which is why it works with us, because we are a mix of everything.
There's a mix of the 5
Tattvas, yeah, we are a mix of everything.
We are the
So, absolutely. So, for example, we have taken in a particular aspect of every growth of the evolution process. So, right from the stone stage, mineral stage, vegetative state, insect stage, as we have grown, we have taken in. So, for example, our scientific aspect of the hemoglobin, right? The iron, as we say, iron levels. What is iron? Iron is metal. And spiritually, it is directly connected to the inner power, strength, and the willpower that you have. So for each of these things, we will help you understand the beautiful vehicle and the masterpiece that you and I are, that we all are, and how, even though we are this one consciousness, we are a unique Mona Lisa piece. Yeah, each one of us.
That's the thing about life, let's not look at this as a very religious or a very, well, spirituality and religion go well together, but you do not have to be religious to be spiritual. You don't need to be spiritual to be religious. This is a debate that has gone on and on. What we can take from this, though, is that if we understand the reason behind a certain thing that we do, we automatically shift it from the religious mode to a higher meaning, a spiritual mode.
Absolutely.
And that's where, when we talk of a few things that we do during Navratri, which we will discuss in detail, about the foods to eat. What are foods? Like again, during the Chaitra Navratri, with the winter Navratri, slight difference in the food depending upon the temperatures outside. So that it's also well knit into place.
Absolutely.
We will give you food therapy. We will
Yes.
talk on color
Nutrition,
therapy.
color therapy, all of this.
On all of these aspects. And in the end, we're all only going towards our grades. We're all just going there. And we better go there better equipped. All these Louis Vuittons and other things that we buy are not going to help us progress on the online. It's these things that we
Absolutely.
It's these things that we transform within us that we take with us in the future of what we will do. So this is the thing that it's the time to flush out excessive. When I'm talking, like, see, these things were made thousands of years back when life was very simple. So today, when we're talking of Navratri and fasting, I would say we should do a detox of fasting even from technology. Put away stuff.
Absolutely.
Put away stuff. Put away things that are toxic. Do it at every level.
I call the D2 in our workshops when we do, which is the digital detox. And you move about, and it can be practiced with so many different things that we do through different of our workshops, where each and everything is inculcating a different new habit. As I always say that, you can't expect new results by doing things your old ways, where that monkey business, as I call, with the monkey mind, ego, keeps continuing in that spiral. So we need to understand that we have to cut the circle. We have to snap it somewhere for getting out of that vicious cycle of doing something in a manner which is detrimental to our own growth and that of others.
Absolutely. The other thing I think, Roshni, is that creation and growth only happens in silence. So if each one of us could spend some time in silence, that would be great. During Navratri, talk out a time before the class, after the class, where you would just want to inhale all that information that you've been given.
We have this thing in every workshop, and some of my students and friends listening to it, I call it the silence bank, and I ask them, we've made videos on that as well, of depositing everyday thing that every minute of silence is 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, whatever you want to call it. And you've opened an account called the Silence Bank. And then every time, every day, if you're doing 5 minutes of silence, I've got 5,000 rupees in the bank. And then 5 threes are 15,000 rupees of silence at the end of the month. And you keep on doing that, and you are increasing your spiritual immunity to a very, very heightened level. Absolutely. By doing that.
And in this time where COVID has resurged, and it is feasting on our fear emotions, that aura that we emanate, we send out of being afraid of it. So there's this huge talk about attracting it when you're scared. So is that true?
Absolutely. So the acronym of fear is false evidence appearing real.
Wow.
Okay. Which is very, very famous. And the other aspect is two things. Face everything and rise, or forget everything and run. These are the two things that you can do with fear. And when we are engulfed, because fear is a toxic energy, most of the times translated into toxic energy. Fear is can be positive as well. Just like everything is in duality, we are in this dualities, illusion, So all of this learnings and everything that we are doing is actually trying to better our illusion, which is the illusion that we are living in. And then you better the illusion, and you're in a better illusion, and that's how it continues. But the thing is that when coming back to what I was saying, that fear, just like it is a double-edged sword, like everything else, it is not the primary thing that is bad or good. Everything was, created in its pure, pristine energy in the world. It is the use or misuse by humanity that created the polarity of the good and the seeming bad. The knife that is used for cutting vegetables is the same knife that can kill someone. Absolutely. The hot water that we cherish for a lovely bath and soak ourselves into is the same hot water that can burn someone. So the same way, fear can be used positively and negatively. So positive fear is which kind of inspires me, motivates me. No, I cannot fail. I have to do and study harder, and I cannot be watching TV during my exams.
Or
and
in this case, build up my immunity.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be able to go out and do what I need to, taking all the precautions.
Absolutely.
But I will work on my immunity before I step out.
Absolutely.
So social distancing, mask wearing, yes, but immunity is completely in our hands, and that's where fasting ups your immunity right away. So there's so many things that we're going to talk in these 9 days, and hopefully all of you become better versions of yourselves, are more,
better each day. Because there is no best. Because the moment you say best version there, then you're again capping it. So I always feel and keep reminding that be the best version each day, and you are not competing with anyone else besides your old self of yesterday. And if we keep that in mind, then we can beautifully grow from this, little caterpillar to the butterfly. Absolutely. Of life.
So well said.
And we can be there in this journey together. And all of this is going to be in this power packed 9 days. So we would like you to share all of this lovely knowledge that we have told you about to various other friends, loved ones who can benefit, because every single human being empowered is a society and world empowered. And we are endeavoring to share. Mind you, there is no teaching. There is only sharing of love and knowledge that God has gifted us with. And we want to share that with each one who we can. So please message on the registration number that is shared in the post with all of you, or click the WhatsApp button on the page itself on Facebook, and you can inquire about the workshop.
Now, Roshni, can I now request you to put our audience to a little chant and meditation?
Yes.
So that they get a small peek into what they could be getting into.
So, Manoranjan Patroji, there are many mantras that help in eradication and fear of diseases and death. Daily one actually, which is one of my favorite, of allowing. So the balance, just as the masculine and feminine balance, the entire universe is all about balance. The key to life is balance. And therefore, the balance, even in the giving and receiving, the balance of our inhale and exhale. With every inhale, there is an exhale happening. You don't know you are breathing till the breath is stopped, right? Or till you are doing some meditative deep breathing, you don't know, because it is by default. It's like a default app and you are just there. It's just happening. But there is this beautiful mantra for daily cleansing, of balancing the taking in of the Mother Earth energies and releasing what is unserving. And it goes as Prana Apana Sushumna Hari. Hari Har Hari Har Hari Har Hari. So the prana is the inhale. Prana is taking in the life force energy, where apana is connected to all the excretionary cycles of the body. And thereby, we are taking in the balance of what we are inhaling and what the body and the system needs to exhale from the physical point of view and the emotional, mental, subtle, spiritual point of view as well. So you could do that if you wish to. And I would not get into your next question about knowing your soulmate because it's very subjective and there is too much of jargon lying around in the whole spiritual supermarket on that. So I would not like to touch upon that right now.
Yeah, not at this time.
Yes, we will definitely take it up. So please get ready for our collective chant meditation that we will do with the intent to send out love and healing into the world, and most importantly, wisdom. I think the wisdom to live our life is more important today. And when that wisdom comes and is based out of the love energy, then it is spectacular.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm waiting. Let's get in.
Yes. So we will be doing 2 such mantras today to invoke of being and contributing our energy into the thoughts, words, and deeds. So the first one is Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu, which means that I am going to work on my thoughts, words, and actions to be purified while making them contribute to the larger good of all humanity. And the other one, which we will do, is this healing mantra, which is a very, very powerful Kundalini mantra. Rama Dasa Se Soham. So get ready, close your eyes, you may put your earplugs and be with us in intent and energy, even if you are not repeating and saying or, can't by heart the mantra right now. Just be with us through the chant and involve your energy, contribute your energy to this word prayer. I will first begin with the Nam Jap of Meher Baba's name, followed by the word prayer, and followed by the chants that we will do. First, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Meher Baba, 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 Meher Baba. Take a deep breath. You will now put your intent into the prayer. I thank God for this beautiful life. I thank God to be alive and be blessed with all the time, space, and resources of life. I ask God to help me journey this life through thoughts, words, and actions that benefit the larger good of humanity. I contribute my love and energy into world healing. I send out blessings of love and gratitude to Mother Earth, to all her species of creation, and seek forgiveness for actions not godliness. I pray, may all authorities across the world choices take actions for the larger good of all humanity. I pray and send blessings to the karmic teacher of this pandemic, who has taught us life-saving attributes. I send prayers for the souls who left this world in this pandemic. I send strength and courage to the loved ones who are yet living on our earth. May all the souls wrapped in the love of God on their own journey. May all living this life on earth live it with love, wisdom, compassion, harmony, and oneness of all creation. So be it, so be it, so be it. Take a deep breath and loosen up your entire body, from your head to your toes. If there is any stiffness or constriction, move your shoulders, move your head, and just relax before we begin the chant. Relax your entire body from your head to your toes. Allow the cosmic energy to engulf, to rise within and to wrap you in its comfort. And as you get relaxed, I pray that may you inhale all of Lord's love, light, and healing through this chant, and spread and radiate that. Exhale to you, into the world, into your living life. Our first chant, which we will do, both the chants will be done 9 times each. The first one is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Remain in your inner silence and take 3 deep breaths as we move into the next chant. Sa se so Say so. Yourself come in a light pink shade of light, the divine light of the light of love of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the light of love of oneness and harmony within and out. And as you fill yourself with this light love of the divine love of God, take 3 deep breaths and make sure that every nook and corner of you is filled with this pink light. And if you feel any space that is empty, take your intention and fill that part of your body with this light of love. Allow the love and healing of divine God and Goddess to fill you up. All this in all the attributes of life. Every time that you are disturbed, feeling low, I want you to look inside and search for this pink dot of light. And the moment you in your mind's eye. Allow it to expand and fill you up in entirety. Invoke this love that you need to your sacred space. May all the divine love and healing be unto you, your loved ones. May it be the light to illuminate the world. Remain in your inner silence for a few moments and then take 3 breaths. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. And as you complete the 3 cleansing breaths that align you in your inner world, tap all the blessings and gratitude for everything that was, that is, that shall. Gratitude to life, gratitude to Mother Earth, gratitude to everyone and everything, animate and inanimate in your life. At the count of 10, when I ask you to slowly open your eyes, do not jerk them open, very slowly open when I ask you. 10, 9, 8. Fill yourself with gratitude more and more. 7, 6, 5. More gratitude of your life. 4, 3, 2. Take in all the universal goodness to fill you. And 1. Very, very slowly open your eyes. Take both your palms, rub them against each other, and put them onto your eyes, and just feel all the love and warmth of the Divine Creator, of the Universal Mother, present within all of us, the Universal Father, present within all of us. And all that is done, we knock the love and light of God and put into manifestation the love and harmony of all of creation. So be it. So be it. Hope you all enjoyed the chanting. And if there is anything that you want to share in comments, how you felt, any insights that came through this conversation that Dr. Neetika and I had, we would be happy to see them in the comments. Or just put your love with lots of hearts and likes for this session and share them with people. And with that, you will be helping us to spread this love and light more into the world. Thank you so much for being with us and joining us for this amazing journey of togetherness. We look forward to seeing registrations from you and your loved ones. Please connect and register. This 9 days blissful and powerful journey that we both plan to have with you. So thank you so much once again, and a very big namaste. The consciousness within us bows down to the consciousness within you. The potential within us down to the potential within you. The power within us passed down to the power within you. Thank you so much. Jai Baba everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Rinpoche. Everyone who joined us. Blessings. And see you all from 30th to 21st for the 9 days of invoking and awakening the divine feminine. See you all.